Hey everyone, welcome back to Corporate Decoder, the place where we decode corporate filings so you don't have to. Today we're diving into TruGolf Holdings, and after reading this report, let's just say their financial picture is a bit like my golf game. Needs a lot of work. We are talking about their annual report called a 10K, but this is actually an update or a correction called 10K. It's like when you file your taxes and then realize you forgot something and have to file an amendment. Hopefully it will show improvements. TruGolf makes golf simulation equipment and software, and they just had to refile their annual report because they didn't include all the required information about their executives and board members. So it's like a do-over. Let's see what's happening inside. Basically, TruGolf is filing this updated report because they forgot to include some important details in their original report. They are planning to include this information in their proxy statement, which is a document companies send out to shareholders before annual meetings, but they won't be filing that on time. So they are putting the information directly into this report instead. This includes information about the company's leaders, like the directors and executive officers, and how the company is run. Let's meet the team. Christopher Jones is the Chief Executive Officer, basically the top boss. He also founded Access Software, which made the Lynx golf franchise a popular computer game. Then there's Brenna Adams, the Chief Growth Officer, in charge of finding new ways to expand the business. Nathan Larson is the Chief Experience Officer, focusing on making the customer experience better. Sean Limbers is the Executive Vice President and a Director, and he has a background in investment banking. Finally, Stephen Johnson is the Chief Experience Officer, focusing on making the customer experience better. Sean Limbers is the Executive Vice President and a Director, and he has a background in investment banking. Finally, Stephen Johnson is the Chief Hardware Officer, responsible for the golf simulation equipment itself. The board of directors is made up of both people who work at the company and independent directors who are not employees and provide outside oversight. The company says that Humphrey Pullinen, AJ Redmer and Riley Russell are independent. This is important because independent directors are supposed to look out for the interests of the shareholders, not just the company management. TruGolf has 3 main committees that are part of the board. Each focuses on different areas. The audit committee is in charge of making sure the company's accounting is accurate and that they have a good relationship with the outside auditors who check the company's financial statements. The compensation committee decides how much to pay the top executives with the goal of attracting and retaining talented people. The governance and nominating committee thinks about who should be on the board of directors and how the company should be managed overall. TruGolf has a code of ethics, which is like a set of rules for how everyone at the company should behave. It covers things like being honest, avoiding conflicts of interest, and following the law. The company also has an insider trading policy, which is designed to prevent people who have inside information about the company from buying or selling stock for their own profit. Now let's look at how much the top executives are getting paid. In 2024, Christopher Jones, the CEO, received about $67,000, mostly from his salary. Brenna Adams, the Chief Growth Officer, got around $220,000, including stock awards. Nathan Larson, the Chief Experience Officer, also received about $2220 stock awards. Nathan Larson, the Chief Experience Officer, also received about $2220,000. Including stock awards, Nathan Larson, the Chief Experience Officer, also received about $2220,000. Including stock awards, Nathan Larson, the Chief Experience Officer, also received about $2220,000. These numbers give you a sense of how the company is compensating its leadership team. This tells us how many company shares are tied up in stock options. These are basically promises to sell stock to employees at a set price, which can motivate them to help the company do well. TruGolf can issue about 397,000 more shares under its equity compensation plans. Here's where things get a little tricky. TruGolf has some deals with people who are connected to the company. For example, they have notes payable with ARJ Trust, controlled by the CEO, that total $650,000. They also have notes with former shareholders to buy back their stock, totaling $911,000 at zero interest. These related party transactions can raise questions about whether the company is always acting in the best interest of all shareholders. TruGolf paid Haney & Company, their independent auditor, $204,500 for audit, tax, and other services in 2024. That's more than the $140,000 they paid in 2023. Audit fees are the amount the company pays its auditors for checking the financial numbers and making sure they follow all the rules and there are no serious issues. Okay, time for our take. TruGolf seems to be working to improve its corporate governance, and they are making sure they comply with all the regulations. However, the related party transactions are something to watch closely. It would be nice to see fewer insider relationships and more focus on outside capital and less debt. TruGolf is in a competitive and emerging area with golf simulation, but they definitely need to focus on that fairway if they want to get out of the rough, so to speak. Thanks for watching. If you found this helpful, please like, subscribe, and let us know what company we should decode next in the comments below.